Okay. This will be an interesting one. Going to make this negative. This will be an interesting one. I wonder what colour we're going to give it. It's got a lot of green in it, and it's going to be reversed, so it's either going to be blue or green. So we're going to make it green. See how that goes. And we're going here. Okay, if we use red, it's going to make the green look brown, so I'm not sure what exactly we'll be doing there. So we're going to go to hue. It's going to be warm or cold. I'm going to make it fairly cool. And the copy density, we're just going to lighten it up most of the way. Actually, we can't lighten it. We're making a negative positive. We've got to make it dark. So let's see how we go. See if this comes up a treat. Right, what have we got? We've got here something it's called a bill fragment. I tore this off a streetlight pole not far from where I live, and we're going to use it in this demo. So now we're just going to take this and we're going to put it on the glass. And yes, it's bigger than A4 that way, and it's almost the size of an A4 that way. We're going to just move it across because we want to make a nice mirror image with this. So I think we're going to do it like that. And let's see how we go. I'm wondering, just going to quickly keep this in play. We're just going to overlap this bit. I think would be a good idea. Just overlap it and it's B5 is the width. So let's see what we can do enlargement wise. If we can do something to make it so B5 to A4, that's a good question. B5 to A4 should be here somewhere. B5 to A4, 115.4%, and we're going to make the horizontal different to the vertical. We're doing the vertical there. We're going to change this one to 100, actually going to make it less than 100. So I'm wondering if we're going to make it 90%. I'm not sure. We'll see how we go. This will be an interesting one. Maybe we've done the wrong thing with reducing it. We'll soon find out. Let's see how this turns out. Ooh, interesting. Very interesting. I think we do need a bit of extra length. So I'm probably going to put it back on 100, and that looks good. So we're just going to put that aside, and I can see there's some green in there. So I'm wondering if we want that green, if it's not a very wishy-washy sort of a colour to use. So we're just going here, and we're just going to put it on 100, just the normal size. Wonder if we're going to keep that. I'm just wondering what we're going to do, because normally we make master copies when we have background colour, and the background colour normally comes up a real treat. So I'm not sure what I'm doing with this. Maybe we can go to blue, because blue's a more prominent colour. And I wonder, right, maybe we're going to brightness now. We're just going to get rid of the copy density. The copy density's there and the hue's there, but the copy density would disappear as soon as I introduce one of these. So we're going to introduce blue to the mix for something different, because it's hot colours anyway. But the hue, I think the hue should be in the opposite direction, a bit considerably warmer. Let's see how this goes. So let's see how that looks. And then we can make it into a 4-way mirror image. Okay, let's see how that looks. Well, actually, that looks really nice. You can see the blue, and yeah, that looks really quite... I'm wondering if we really like it, or we're going to make some more alterations to the mix. So it's a difficult one. It's a little bit difficult to work with, this one. So we're just going to take the hue. We're going to heat it up further. And maybe we're just going to leave the blue in play. What else are we going to do with this silly shitter? Okay, let's just see what the hue in the hot end of the scale looks with this one. Okay, let's see how that looks. Alright, that one looks, strangely enough, this looks warmer than that one. For some reason the hue control appears to be working in reverse. You can see that's colder, so we're just going to do something different. So that, it still looks nice, it's still on its way, and I think we got the enlargement, the sizing correct. So now we're just going to go, maybe instead of making it hot, we're going to cool it. Let's see what cooling the hue actually does. This is for my experience as well as yours, because it's not always easy to fully understand these features unless you actually have a bit of a play with them. And it takes a lot of time to understand how they work. I still don't fully understand how the hue is meant to work. Now it looks warmer. You can see here, that's that one and that's my last one. So that's actually looking better. And you can see the background colour chiming in where it should. So I'm wondering if we're gonna leave it at that setting, or I'm actually thinking maybe yellow could look even better than blue. Yellow is the colour I colloquially call the happy colour. So maybe a bit of happiness instead of sorrow. So I feel blue is something to do with depression or sorrow. So I'm just going to put the happy colour into the mix and see what happens. See if it's strong enough to really look nice in this composition. This is a challenging piece to work with, even though it looks like an easy piece, but it's not. But anyway, you can see the yellow shining through. It's more obvious than the blue. I think the yellow looks good. It looks better than blue. We've got to have a bit of happiness in amongst the apparent sorrow. But, you know, you've got the warm colours as well as the cooler ones. Anyway, let's just print this silly thing off. I'm not sure if we're going any further here or if we're just going to finish it off. I'm wondering if we should have put more cold into the hue. It's funny how the hue works. Why it's called hot and cold when sometimes it doesn't always work in such an obvious fashion. But I do like the yellow. The yellow does add a bit of, it looks like a bit something from outer space, and you can see a bit of light stuff in there, so that looks really nice. The colour yellow in amongst those other colours sort of contrasts with the overall purple theme of the image. So now we're just going to, I'm wondering if we could have done it better. It's hard to know sometimes. We're just going to make mirror images for this. So we're just going to put that on and then just pump off 2 copies of the same thing. But this is a bit of a prolongated demo. But it's funny how the hue works. I just don't fully understand it, even though I've used it and I sort of have a good idea what it does. But sometimes I have to try it out to work it out, to get the result I'm after. It's not an easy, this machine isn't an easy machine to deal with. And yes, we've got something. This machine in mirror image often gets tricked into cropping the image inappropriately, not according to what I want. So I have to now So if you have this problem and you're trying to do some of the tricks that I do, you got to go here and you got to hit original size, and we're going metric, and we're using the A4 landscape area. So this should print off as if it's just like the non-reversed images, the non-mirrored. So it's a shame I wasted a bit of paper. I mean, normally I like to pump off too, because normally it works, but sometimes you get caught out with this original size issue. I can't fathom as to why it happens and what sort of originals cause it. That's another area that I don't understand well enough. It shows even an expert like me can still not understand a lot of things about the subject that they're familiar with, because there's just so much complexity in these machines, despite the fact, I mean, not many people use these features. I don't think I've even seen another YouTuber working the machine like I do. So even I'm probably the closest thing there is to an expert on this topic of photocopier art, or in this case copier configuration art, but even I don't know a lot of things about it either, so who fucking knows? It's like nobody. But that looks really ethereal, that looks really nice, looks bubbly. I think now we can call it quits.